police, you better bring someone you don't like because there's going to be a firefight.
To catch a wanted man,
he knows we're gunning for him.
Troopers head straight into a possible shootout.
You know they're going to run. You know they're going to fight.
And when stolen guns hit the streets,
there's a lot of guns still out there missing, and we don't know who has them.
Troopers fear their suspects are armed to the teeth.
We're preparing for the worst.
State Troopers!
And out in the wilds,
he's in serious trouble.
Illegal hunters lead troopers deep into bear country.
Just heard a shot, big boar.
From Alaska's toughest cities,
this person here has a warrant. They ran for a reason.
To its farthest reaches.
State Troopers!
There's bear tracks out there?
This is Alaska State Troopers.
Once he knows that we're there and he comes out with a rifle, then things are different. I don't want him to go from deer hunting to people hunting.
Scenic Ketchikan sits on Alaska's southern tip, the first stop for passing ships. Most visitors only stay for a day or two. But today, troopers are planning to catch a violent man who just won't leave.
He's been out at this island right now for about a month, living by himself. He was not going to leave, and then stated, you better bring someone you don't like because there's going to be a firefight.
What we're going to do is go out tomorrow morning and remove him from the property there. He's got convictions for felony assault. It's known that he has a long gun. We're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best here.
We know this person can be potentially dangerous based on his criminal history and the statements he's made. But once he knows that we're there and he comes out with a rifle, then things are different. By which way he leaves with us.
But the squatter's island cabin is tucked away in a narrow inlet, only accessible by boat. So they won't have the element of surprise.
It's pretty steep, if I remember right.
Yeah, it might be doable, but it's going to be real tough. The people there said that he had S-cast with 1,000 rounds.
Find a place where you can put in on the beach where he doesn't know you're there. I don't want a whole bunch of people knowing that we're going out there to do this.
If you're going to do that, be there right at daybreak and show up right when he's still half asleep.
I'll be there probably around 2:30. We'll see you guys bright and early. He says he's ready. He's already made mention he wants to have a shootout with whoever wants to take him off the island, and that would be us. We want to be at his house as it gets light. And one of the scenarios I definitely did not want to have happen is go there in the middle of the day while he's out, say, deer hunting. I don't want him to go from deer hunting to people hunting.
They're racing to sunrise, but the sea isn't cooperating.
Augustine back. He just can't see anything right now, so it's too dangerous. First, we're going to show up at the beach, try and circle around downwind. If the suspect has dogs, don't let the dogs smell us. If he does come out with a gun and starts engaging the contact team, we'll be in a position to address that.
The team meets on the Enforcer, a 69-foot patrol vessel that will serve as the floating mobile command center for the mission. Two troopers head out on a small skiff to get eyes on the man.
You guys won't have a medic with you, so in a way, you're kind of on your own.
Nighttime.
You guys can go slow.
Oh, no, we're gonna sneak in.
When you guys get set up, we'll start moving in. All right, good luck. If they get compromised or can't make it, then we'll scrub the mission. 640, he might be up by now. Sergeant Garcia, he's saying they just made landfall. Right now, they're working their way up into the woods. And I don't want those dogs to start barking before we're ready.
We're about as close to the view as we're going to get of this guy right now. About a mile across there. I'm just going to turn off my external lights. The problem is that, our engines and stuff, so somebody who's out there looking for us, they'll be able to see us coming.
Connecting, Augustine. First stop for the flow house.
10-4, we'll be connecting your location.
Got a gun with him, so hopefully he's unarmed, and we can at least maintain control of him.
What'd he say?
Sounded like I heard dogs.
What was that last traffic? I thought there were dogs barking, dude.
All right, let's go.
Hang on. See movement light from the house right now.
Why don't you come over here real quick? You know why we're here?
No.
Okay. This is privately owned. You don't own anything out here. Let's be clear. No, let's be clear. No, you don't. Let's be clear. If you don't want to cooperate, I'll place you in arrest right now.
Now, why are you taking me somewhere?
Trespassing.
Trespassing for...
You're on private property. This is not yours.
I'm not on private property at the moment.
You are indeed on private property. We're kind of going in circles here, okay? Just go ahead and turn around, put your hands behind your back, okay? Thanks.
Right.
Just go ahead and turn around.
They secure the premises.
230 rounders. There you go.
When the first trooper came up, he wanted to get back into this back room here, and it had his SKS rifle, had a round in the chamber, and they stopped him from getting there. So it had the potential of going really bad really quick, but fortunately, it didn't.
They take the squatter peacefully. But more than 750 miles north, wildlife troopers in Palmer must confront a whole group of armed trespassers.
Had a guy call in yesterday. He has these guys trespassing on his property. They cut down a bunch of trees on his property, and he thinks they're possibly taking illegal animals.
Moose hunting season is still 2 weeks away, so trespassing may not be their only violation.
I can't take my truck, so this is the mode of transportation for what we're doing today. I'd rather deal with a bear than a group of angry hunters. You get that creepy feeling, you know, kind of like they're circling the wagons. So a bear is usually predictable. People drunk with guns are very unpredictable. You know, where I'm going now, if I needed backup, they're a minimum an hour and a half away. We're here.
You're here?
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
There was a big sign
Oh, yeah.
there. I had a barricade here.
You had the fence?
Yeah, there was a fence along here, such as this, and there were signs hanging on the fence.
The illegal hunters cut down more than 25 trees to make way for their trucks.
They're way off. And this is not on the easement.
No.
This is the edge of your property. Okay. Gotcha.
They had no right to cut anything or clear anything.
This is pretty obvious what's going on here. I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say a guy that trespasses is also a poacher, but a lot of times they go hand in hand, you know. What kind of stuff are they saying to people?
You guys can't stop us if you don't want to try.
Threats? Intimidation? Well, I'm going to go up there and see what they got going on.
The property owner shows Massey the way to the hunters' camp, but getting there won't be easy.
We're going to cross several streams to get to where we're going. I've seen people lose four-wheelers. You can get swept downstream in a hurry. It's not any better down there? Okay. It's the highest I've seen the water in a couple of years. Looks like pieces of glacier are falling off.
Probably hippo.
Once you get to a certain point, you can't turn around.
Oh, it's playing, right?
Safely across, the two sneak up to where they suspect the hunters are camped.
You can see where this is a thoroughfare for moose. A piece of hair here. This looks like somebody's setting up for a moose camp. It looks like a ideal spot. It's a moose scapula. They'll go in the brush and kind of rake it in the brush like this to simulate a bull raking his antlers. Surprisingly, they'll come running to this. So they got themselves a little honey hole. This camp takes part in some activities that are questionable, including taking illegal animals. A lot of times guys will come in, hunting groups, and they'll set these up to basically keep other people from camping in the same area. Nobody here. I was kind of hoping I'd get to contact somebody.
Massey doesn't get his men this time, but he'll keep an eye out for them.
What doesn't look good for them is that they were tearing down signs. That shows me that their actions were probably deliberate. We'll just have to come back.
It's Massey's job to protect Alaska's unique and abundant wildlife. But further south, on the scenic Seward Highway, blue shirt troopers deal with the dangers wildlife poses to drivers.
It's the main highway that leads from Anchorage down to the Kenai Peninsula. You've got the gorgeous scenery, we've got the wildlife.
But over 200 people have lost their lives on the roadway, and almost 20% of crashes in the area involve wildlife.
The dangers for us on that highway are the drivers that aren't paying attention to the road. They're distracted by the scenery, they're distracted by wildlife.
It doesn't take long before troopers find one of those distracted drivers.
Gotta be careful on days like this. There's just a ton of traffic out here. This is the first vehicle I've stopped today. It's lot 25, 1036. Hello.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Brian Barlow with the State Troopers. You know how fast you were going?
I don't know. It only goes up to 85.
Okay.
How fast is
It actually goes up to 86 because you were doing 86 miles an hour. Do you have a driver's license on you?
I have a permit. He has a license.
You're 19, right? Okay. And you're 17. Okay. If you're going to be driving on your instructional permit, the person accompanying you has got to be 21 years of age.
The driver's problems don't end there.
Other than the knife on the floor in the back seat, any other weapons in the car at all? At all? Okay. Is there anything that this vehicle is insured under right now? Okay. Stay in the car. Don't do anything silly. A couple of issues so far. There's a case of beer in the car. Neither one of them are of age. He basically indicates that the vehicle's not insured, and I can smell marijuana in the car as well. Okay. Other than the beer, what else is in the car that I need to be concerned about?
Suspicious stuff in this one.
Okay. How much marijuana is in the car? Yeah, I can smell marijuana.
I don't know.
Okay. How much do you have? You're saying that there's marijuana in that? What kind of paper are you using? Okay, so why are you letting them smoke marijuana in your car? Oh yeah, you can't. It's your car. Party in a box. Yeah, this one will keep us here for a little while. We'll be writing and writing and writing. There's just a litany of charges here. Just looking for these traffic violations, and we stopped the vehicle for speeding, and now it's growing into a list of criminal charges. You never know.
100 miles north in Caswell, Trooper Terrence Shanigan works a very different set of roads.
This is the largest subdivision in the state of Alaska, and it's got 75 miles of road. It is like a maze back here. Well, there are 4 streets named Silver Salmon, so you can't ever make assumptions back here.
There's a camp that's crashed. There's a vehicle at the end of the road with someone in it. A 1099-107 Chevy utility vehicle is hood out like supposed to take the engine out.
1019. It sounds like some type of a camp or squatters in a vehicle that came in as stolen. Nothing's ever routine with stuff like this. I don't like this. Back of 82-1023, it's the last on the right. Okay. Hold on. Back of Toby out with Echo Whiskey. Hi there. Do you live back in this area here? Mind if I just check your driver's license? All right, take care. At least I know. Okay. Well, they're definitely trying to pull the engine out, but they definitely knew what they wanted to do. They're just using this as kind of an area to strip this car. Looks like they've been stealing signs, and they're about $350 to $450 per sign. So I would think that they're going to come back for this. 5B10, 1B82. Hey, do you have your game camera handy? If they come back, they're going to drive up this driveway. With the game camera set up, we'd be able to get a shot of a plate or a vehicle.
Later that night, Shanigan returns with wildlife trooper Dan Valentine to set up the camera.
This is a Reconyx game camera that's got infrared vision on it.
Turn it to your left a little bit more. Well, what we're seeing more and more are citizens actually going out and buying these cameras themselves and putting them up. All right, let's try that. So if I was a burglar, I'd be very wary about going into places anymore because most of the time they're caught on camera. Should be good.
20 miles north in Talkeetna, a citizen's game camera catches a thief in the act.
We got a call from a couple. A lot of items were being stolen off their property, like tires, tools, jacks, stuff like that. So they set up a wildlife cam on their property and observed a vehicle come onto their property.
The photographs capture the car of a convicted felon with a history of drug abuse.
I think locating him is going to be the biggest issue here because he hasn't been checking in with his probation officer. So I can't imagine that he's going to be too pleased about seeing us pull up in his driveway. There's two of us going, me and the probation officer, just in case he does get out of hand. Okay.
Probation Officer Corbridge, come to the door. Open the door, man.
You can see in this other window there. I mean, he's there. Come to the door. You know we can't go away.
So since I didn't see him, I can't go into the door.
Everything's not okay. I mean, I'm sure he's in the bathroom flushing something or doing something.
Calhoun fears the man's barricading himself inside.
We're going to apply for a search warrant. If it's granted, we're going to have to kick the door. Just come to the door now. They're standing in the doorway so I can see shadows.
After more than an hour of pounding,
Probation Officer Corbett, open the door.
the man finally relents.
Who else is in the house? My girlfriend, that's it. All right.
I'm here about the thefts. He had video camera footage of your vehicle. I just want your side of the story, man.
I'm not going to exercise my right to remain silent.
Okay. If you don't tell me where the stuff's at, you're going to have to repay the amount. You're being charged with it anyways. So can you tell me where the stuff's at?
But with warrant in hand, Calhoun finds plenty of evidence.
My victim took photographs of those about 2 months ago as documentation of what's in his place. There's no reason that he would have all this copper wire.
Unfortunately, most of the complainant's stolen merchandise is long gone.
I'm sure he sold it. I mean, this guy has admitted to being on some sort of narcotics, and they got to get money somehow.
Back in Palmer, moose season is now open, and wildlife trooper Doug Massey is on the trail of yet another illegal hunter.
Hi, this is Sergeant Massey with the Wildlife Troopers. Tell me what's going on.
I have a buddy who went hunting yesterday. Long story short, he shot an illegal moose and left it lay out there because he didn't want to get caught. He didn't want to get in trouble.
My main concern is to find out where this animal is and see if we can make an attempt to salvage it.
It's been a day and a half since the fatal shot, so Massey and Trooper Lindbergh must work quickly to save the meat.
Yesterday at 9, so it's
AM or PM?
AM. It's marginal right now.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
I got some pretty crude directions. I'm going to try to see if I can locate the animal from what he gave me. If it's what they say it was, they left the whole animal there. That's wanton waste, $10,000 fine, and a maximum of 2 years in jail, and loss of all equipment and privileges. This right here is considered the most serious wildlife offense. Taking my shotgun out. Been out there for 30 hours. It's probably going to be bloated. It's probably going to be smelling, so that's what bears like, smelly, bloated things. So I'm going to bring my shotgun out just in case. There's a moose. Just heard a shot, big bore. Did you hear that? Somebody just shot a moose. Let's do it. Keep your eyes open for some disturbance in the weeds over there. There's bear tracks out there? I can't hear any birds.
See that vegetation there? Something's been through there.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there just in case. Shooting again. Jimmy, go. Jimmy! Where you at? Nothing?
Go ahead.
That's not it. That's an old one. Kill site back there, it's a cow. It's months, weeks, months old, probably months old. Let's roll out.
Back at the boat launch, the caller arrives to help.
Are we in the right place?
We came straight out and went out back there a little bit, but we ended up right over this tree line right over there.
What we're gonna have to do is get a boat. Otherwise, it'll take all day. All right, you ready to go for a little quick boat ride?
Real shallow.
Inches?
Inches at points.
Looks like we already got mud in there.
The motorboat quickly becomes a paddle boat.
Holy crap. Mike, we're in trouble. How bad am I gonna sink? Whoa, wait a second. I don't even know how we're gonna get this moose out of here. This is it. We can't go any further. A shotgun, metal detector, saw. Is it in here? Can you hold that? I just want to have my hand free. Just in case the bear's on it. This is really thick. Did you find it? That stinks already. Yeah, bummer. Hair's slipping already. It's only 31 inches.
A legal moose must have antlers 50 inches wide, meaning it's at least 6 years old. They can't save the meat, and will cite the man for wanton waste if Massey can find evidence he killed it.
Keep it on this side. I'm gonna try to tip him over anyways. I just want to establish right off the bat that it didn't just keel over and die. A lot of times you can just peel this hide back and you'll have more fragments. Like I just felt something in my thumb. Piece of lead. Yeah.
He takes the antlers as evidence.
What I try to do is keep them the width I found them that way, short, sublegal. Up. And I got this. There you have it. All 4 quarters are here. It's wanton waste, sublegal. Probably that way, Mike. I appreciate what you did. Without you, I'd have had nothing. The moose is only 31 inches, 2 brow tines on either side. Far below what would be considered legal. The guy's in trouble. He's in serious trouble.
The next day, Massey brings the hunter in.
This is the rifle?
Yeah.
All right. How long have you been hunting?
Since I was about 10.
What made you think it was legal?
An old friend of mine had told me the easiest way for you to tell whether or not a bull is legal is if the antlers pass the midsection of the hump.
That moose was only 31 inches. It was really small. You made the decision to shoot first. You're going to be cited for wanton waste of a big game animal. You'll also be cited for taking a sublegal bull moose. I think a few things could have been done differently. You probably agree with me on that.
He seizes the man's rifle and issues citations that could result in up to 2 years in jail and a $10,000 fine. Hundreds of miles away in scarcely populated western Alaska lies St. Mary's. Out here, Dan Dahl is one of only 3 troopers responsible for patrolling the entire lower Yukon River Delta.
St. Mary's is only 500 people. It's such a small community. You have to gain the trust of that community. You have to know, understand, and appreciate the difference and appreciate their culture as you do it.
How was your day?
Dahl patrols a 300-mile stretch of traditional Yupik villages.
We take care of the villages from Russian Mission, which is upriver about 100 miles, down to the mouth of the Yukon. Every one of those villages now are taken care of by the 3 of us troopers here.
Today, he's heading out on the Androvsky River to check for some subsistence hunters.
Every spring we have lots of waterfowl that come through this area. It's another good food source. It's a change of diet from fish and from moose all winter. And so they look forward to the waterfowl coming in. 2 of the things I'll be looking for the most part is no lead shot, and then to just make sure they got a hunting license.
Waterfowl hunters.
approaches a trio of armed hunters.
Peter, this is Trooper Dahl. We're just checking on licenses and life jackets and steel shot and that kind of stuff. What'd you guys get here, a Swan? All right, and I assume you guys are just using steel shot today? Is that nitro steel there? Could you? This looks like good legal ammunition. Way to go, guys.
The Yupik are subsistence hunters, surviving largely off the game they catch.
Looks like a big swan. Is there a pintail? One of my favorite ducks, just a beautiful duck. They make for a good meal as well. Just to the boat dock here, is that fine?
The hunters are having engine trouble, so Dahl tows them to shore. As part of their duty, every trooper must complete 2 years of service in the villages. And St. Mary's just got a new recruit from the urban Matsu Valley.
A trooper named Steve Kevin came from the valley in Palmer, where he did mostly urban law enforcement. There's a big transition cultural-wise and lifestyle-wise, as well as work-wise. So he'll have a transition stage to working out here compared to what's in town.
Where I used to jump in my patrol car and go patrol every day, we now jump in an aircraft or on a four-wheeler, in a boat, or on a snow machine. There's a huge caseload comparing that with urban areas of Alaska, but the cases are generally more serious cases, more felony cases versus the misdemeanor cases we deal with in the urban areas.
Today, he's investigating 2 felonies in the village of Mountain Village.
Our local business receives forged checks. The things that were purchased are consistent with what people use to manufacture the alcohol out here. This community we're going to is what they call a dry community, so it is illegal to manufacture alcohol. It's a very simple process to do, but it is a felony.
Homebrew is a homemade alcoholic drink rampant in some dry villages.
It's a very pungent smell. Once you smell it, you never forget it.
But before he can make an arrest, Kevin must get to the village.
About 25 miles away. However, it takes about an hour to get there via the trail we're going to take. It's a 1-lane 4x trail. It's washed out in portions. There's going to be areas of the road that probably we're going to be traveling in a creek or riverbed that may have 1 foot to 2 feet of water. It's going to be a pretty bumpy road. With the melt-off, it could be impassable today. We may not be able to make it out to Mountain Village.
Despite the harsh conditions, he must hurry to the village. If the man is tipped off, he could escape.
They usually know before we hit the ground. Everybody here speaks using VHF radio, and it just takes one person to get on the VHF and say, "Oh, troopers in town."
Kevin makes it to town and contacts Alvin Brown, the village public safety officer.
He's been a VPSO for almost 20 years. He's a wealth of knowledge in his village, knows where everybody lives, so that's an invaluable service. These checks were written out at the store, and he signed his mother's name. She said she never gave him permission to use the checks. A couple items that he purchased here might be interesting to you. He bought 4 Welch's juices, 5 pounds of CH granulated sugar, and Fleischmann's yeast. So what do you think he's making? Making homebrew. This was purchased on the 15th, so I'm thinking if he made homebrew, he probably made it that night.
Yeah.
And then would he have drank it the next morning or maybe the next?
It's probably rigging now.
Okay. If you come across anything else, we'll deal with it when we get to it.
They head to the man's house.
If they know why I'm there and can possibly destroy evidence, it's important and imperative to get in quickly. You gotta be prepared for the worst. You hear anybody moving around?
State Troopers, I have a search warrant. Open the door. State Troopers.
I don't know what he's blocked the door with here. All right, I'll bang one more time, then I'm gonna kick the door in.
State Troopers, search warrant. Open the door. State Troopers! State Troopers, search warrant!
How come you didn't come answer the door? Did you not hear me banging?
Not really.
Keep your hands where I can see them. Don't be grabbing any weapons, sharp objects, or anything, okay?
He detains the man and shows him the forged checks.
Did you sign your mom's name on those checks?
Yep.
Did your mom give you permission?
No.
Where's the sugar, the yeast, and the orange juice?
Down there.
That half a bag of sugar down there is what's left?
Yep.
What'd you use half a bag of sugar on?
Put in my coffee.
In 2 days, you ate a half a bag of sugar?
Yep.
You know, manufacturing alcohol is a felony. Where's the homebrew?
In my room.
In your room?
Yep.
Okay.
Kevin has additional forged checks to investigate, so he doesn't arrest the man today. But with the evidence against him, he's likely facing jail time soon.
So that was a very successful search warrant. As with most of the native young men and individuals I've encompassed in this area, they've all generally very honest when it comes to situations like this. I find that the culture has taught these folks to just be honest with what they do. Made it a very easy search warrant. I wish they were all this way.
Back on the paved city streets of the Matsu Valley, the calls don't always end so peacefully.
Right now we're heading to a male in a car that's sleeping or passed out. Unknown if it's a medical issue or if it's alcohol involved. So it's going to be a good early start to the day. When it's cold, people can freeze to death in their car. I mean, it is getting now, as you can see on the ground, there's frost. It froze last night. If he's that intoxicated that he's passed out at a wheel in the road, that normally is a sign of high intoxication.
Ooh, I know that car. That guy's into drugs.
Trooper Storia arrives on scene to find a highway patrolman already on the case.
Hey, Steve. This kid's into drugs. Yeah, actually, he's buddies with a kid I arrested for a burglary.
Okay.
And they're into that bath salts and also meth.
Okay, he's saying that he has no clue what happened. He thought he was at home, comes up here, passes out behind the wheel. One of the medics actually rolled up on him.
Officer Steen discovers unmarked pills on the driver.
I know it's more than just something else. It's going to be an oxy, man. When's the last time you did one of those pills, man? Because I see some indications right now that show me that you've done something today. Your pupils are constricted, man. They should be dilated in this kind of weather, in this kind of light condition. I need to do a couple of things here with you to find out what's going on, all right? Just tip your head back, just like this. Okay, see, tip my finger right here? Watch my finger with your eyes only, and don't move your head, okay?
Steen administers field sobriety tests.
Okay, so your hands now behind the wheel, driving down the road. You're sleeping here. You're going.
I work like 10 hours a day.
I work 10 hours a day, man. I work nights. Where are you going?
My house, like 3 or 4 houses up the street.
Your house is that way, man. Your car's pointing that way. Okay, so where were you going?
I don't know.
Is there anything else in the car? May I look real quick?
Yes.
When's the last time you were smoking a pill?
I got smoke pills. I use that to put, I like to smoke the resin. I got to smoke pills.
Okay. How come you got methadone pills on you?
Because my back hurts, because I have pain in my back with my accident.
This point, please stand by for me. Right now you're under arrest for DUI, driving under the influence of drugs, and methadone, my man. It's the same as having heroin. You've got more weapons on you and in this vehicle.
Sorry, I get jumped by people all the time.
Come on, don't be. You got batons, baseball bats, 2 knives on you.
I don't like guns.
Okay. Come have a seat for me, okay?
Steen brings the driver to the station where tests confirm he's under the influence of opiates and marijuana.
The folks that were actually catching in the daytime are so messed up. And he was bad enough that in the back seat, at one point he actually jerked awake, screaming and hollering, saying that he was going into the ditch. He thought he was still driving his car down the road.
Residents of the Matsu Valley are some of the most heavily armed in Alaska. And on the other side of town, troopers have a lead on a suspect who could be sitting on an arsenal of stolen firearms.
A few weeks ago, over 30 guns were stolen from a department store near Palmer. Right now, we're going to go assist in placing a guy under arrest. You know, there's a lot of guns still out there missing. We don't know who has them. You know they're going to run. You know they're going to fight. So, you know, it definitely heightens your awareness. You just take the precautions, keep your eyes open. Malcolm, 1B17, 1B44, 1023.
I don't know specifically where at.
How's it going, sir? You know where that... Does he stay here, like, at night, or live here permanently, or...
Stays at his friend's house in Palmer sometime.
Do you know where his friend's house is?
Apartments that he found that day.
The suspect's parents give the troopers an address.
So right now his mom is probably calling him saying, hey, why are the cops looking for you? I told them where you're at. It happens every time.
It's a race against time to reach the suspect before he runs.
Usually it's about 50-50. If we get the information and if we can get over there quick enough, most of the time it'll play out. Sometimes you just end up on a goose chase. And I'd rather contact somebody in a house than an apartment complex any day. There's nothing really good. I mean, there's windows everywhere, there's doors everywhere. Usually all the neighbors want to know what's going on, so you got people coming out. Same traffic, 17. Doors wide open. They either took off or they're in there and there's no answer. You know, we're gunning for them.
Later that afternoon, an informant gives them a key tip.
I think they just got the information about them stolen guns being dumped. They're going to go meet up with the dive team that's in the area. They're going to be sending some divers into the lake and try and recover, hopefully, some of the stolen guns. We think the guns were thrown from the shore, from the dock, so we're searching from the shore and dock out. They have some buoys that we throw into the water, just kind of how far we can throw, and then they use that kind of as a perimeter. But as of right now, it's kind of like a needle in a haystack.
If I was going to ditch a gun, I tell you, I would have gone for that corner right there and tossed it. Well, then they realized that troopers were onto them.
So they had the moment and decided to get rid of the other. So as soon as you touch the bottom, visibility goes to nothing.
You might see a barrel sticking out. You might see a handle sticking out. You'll see an indentation or something that's mucky with that mud bottom, and that might be an indication there's something there. And really, the trick is going to be to go slow.
But the dive team finds more trash than evidence.
See anything?
Their efforts are futile.
I mean, I had a fishing pole that was about that long, and I could just poke it down in all the way down and never hit bottom.
But the troopers will keep looking for the guns and their elusive suspect.
You know, maybe some people think if I hide out for a few days, they'll get bored, stop looking. That's definitely not the case in this person. We want to find him. He's a danger. We don't want somebody like that running around on our streets. And the sooner we can get him in jail, the better.